What's going on, folks? Just checking to see if y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Testing, testing. Can you guys hear me? Can y'all hear me pretty well? Just checking to make sure everything is hooked up. Appreciate that, Deadwood. Can you guys hear me? Okay, loud and clear. Okay, good deal, good deal. All right, so y'all know how I do in here. I usually let it go, let this go about 5 minutes and before I get into it. And if you were watching this on September the 29th, you might want to jump ahead 5 minutes. If you are watching this video after it's been live, you might want to jump ahead 5 minutes. So if you're watching the video today, September the 28th, you might want to jump ahead to 5 minutes because I'm not going to get into this discussion till 5 minutes in, okay? If you were watching this on September 29th, you might want to jump ahead 5 minutes because I'm not going to get into discussion. What this does, this allows the notifications to get out there, which they haven't been doing lately. So people can get notified and come into the chat. This also allows people to say what they think they might want to say on the subject before we go into it. Because a lot of times people can say comments and different things like that. It allows us to bounce things off each other or feed off of each other. And also allows people to get in here and say their shout outs, yada, yada, peanut butter. So let's see. Deadwood, what's going on, sir? Far too often I see boys that, okay. You're going to be an example to many, my friend. If you ever need anything, we are here. Appreciate that, Deadwood. Appreciate that very much so. Very much. Aaron Todd, Miss Little Pig, Suprav, Benaboo, what's going on? M169, good afternoon to you. Tammy Ship, Terry Joe Cohen, Desiree Hunter, hello, hello. Jolly Ollie, say evening, huh? You must be on the other side of the pond. Okay. Terry, The Menace Parable, Derek Gibson, Robert Bryant, Elvis Austin. Hello, Elvis. Hope you are doing a lot better, sir. I heard about all your adventurous endeavors. I'm glad you're doing okay, though, man. I really am. I am doing good. Things are going good for me. Love the videos. Coat of Many Colors. William Mills. Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Most people look at it like I'm trying to brag or anything. I'm like, I always tell people the reason why I show my intro, which my intro is going to be changed and I always change it up anyway. The reason why I show my intro like that is not to show that I'm bragging to anybody. It's letting them see what they're going to get. I told them it's no different than like if you go into before you go to your favorite grocery store or your favorite store to shop at for clothes or whatnot, you usually see commercials of what this store is going to offer you. You don't look at that and say, well, why is Walmart bragging about their low prices? You don't look at like a clothing store and say, why do they brag that they got the highest quality? They're not bragging. They're just advertising what you're going to get when you come to their store. So I tell people all the time, I'm not bragging about what I am gifted with at all. All I'm doing is showing you what you're going to get when you come to the channel. And even though I show all that, people still turn around. I thought you were just a reaction channel. It's like, oh my God. Do what I say to do when I say get to know this channel in its entirety. Watch other videos besides reaction videos. So we're about 3.5 minutes in. What's going on, Dovey, Regina, Melanie, Jesse, Jane? Hello to you, Melanie, longtime subscriber, controversial person. No, I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. William Mills, Suprav, Jolly Ollie again, Teresa Diane. Hey, Snoop Dogg. Wow, 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 yippee yo, yippee yay. Snoop Dogg and the Dippin' Nippy Hounds. Oh, Julianne here on Earth. Hello, hello. Thank you, sis. Thank you for that comment. Benaboo, it's been a minute. I had a MS relapse. Oh man, exacerbation better yet. Glad you're doing okay. William Mills, hello, hello. Deadwood, if you can send it to me to my email, like written, that would be awesome because that way I can print it out. And I like to have stuff printed out so I can highlight stuff. So yeah, I definitely would do that. And one of my bullies is here. Yeah. Desiree Hunter says, okay, you gifted, toot your horn. I'm not tooting my horn. I really am just advertising what I do on this channel. Robert Bryan said, when someone signs up for you, they get the whole box of cookies. I, for one, am glad to be here. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right, now we are officially into the 5-minute mark. And as you guys can see, the title of this is A Call to Real Black Fathers. You are the solution. Now, what has been happening, or what has happened sometime last week, I got a lot of young Black men and young Black women who reached out to me through email. And I would say out of the 200 emails plus that I got from these young Black people who are inspired by the channel, they are way young. When I say young, I'm talking about they're teenagers. They're 13, 14, 15, 16. Some of them are in their early 20s. Well, anyway, what a lot of them end up saying, which was very, very, let's just say it was very, very touching, is that none of them have their father in their home at all. None of them really hardly ever even talk to their dad because, the dad's been out of the picture. But what I'm getting at is that one of the biggest things they kept saying to me is, man, I wish I had a father like you, is what a lot of them kept saying. Now, these young folks that I'm talking to and I'm emailing, I'm coaching them along the way or whatever like that. And what you see in this whole ordeal, even the ones that email me, I talk real with them. And some of them actually were getting ready to jump ship and get on board with this whole Black Lives Matter. And so when they hear from me and I talk to them about what it all is, what it's all about, I show them my videos on, researching it and showing them what this movement is all about. They end up kind of, oh, well, I didn't know that. I just thought that it was. I said, see, that's what the issue is. There's a lot of people out there that just thought that they just were without actually finding out what they were. So anyway, my point is coaching these young folks along the way. The fact they said, I wish that I could have had a father like you, da 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 da. So what this did, it just led me to sit there and kind of think, if there's any of them that's going to be watching this channel right now, I'm talking about Black men that are fathers. That's why I call this a call out to real strong Black fathers, because right now, if there were real strong Black fathers out here right now that took care of their family, took care of their children, we wouldn't be having, not that we wouldn't be having this issue, but I guarantee you, there wouldn't be a lot of these young Black folks out there that's actually doing this marching, not marching, but the rioting and looting. There wouldn't be none out there. In this house right here, in my house, it's not even a thought that my son's gonna go out and do anything like that. Well, that's wrong that you have that type of, no, you don't understand. When I say there's not even a thought, you think it's because I have some type of strong dictatorship over my sons or anything like that. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's just that my sons are educated well with truth and knowledge and wisdom from their dad, who shows them the truth of the matter, and then I let them make the decision. I don't even do it in a way to where I present it in a way to where I'm trying to pretty much, make them see things my way. I just say, okay, well, check this out. Go read what it says on their page. Go read what it says here. Go and you come back and tell me after reading it, what do you think? Because that's what I want them to do. I want them to develop their own way of thinking, formulate their own ideas. I don't want them to just jump on board and go along with dad just because I'm dad. And they know most of the time with dad, it's the type of guy that you are. We know that you go and research stuff, and then you end up getting to the truth of the matter, getting to the heart of the matter. So we know you're right. So then we know that there's no point in trying to say, no. See, that's not learning. That's not learning. When people say things to me all the time, like, dude, you are very smart. You're very intelligent. I say, no, I'm just well learned, is what I say, because I go and I learn the stuff and then I present it. So with my sons, it's the same exact thing. We have conversations about this in my house, but at the same time, it's like, you go, you look this stuff up, you see what it says on there. That way you can formulate your own ideas and see if what it is, because what it does, it trains their brain to actually not accept anything that somebody says to them. It trains their brain to be skeptical of anything anyone says to them, including me. It trains their brain to actually get into the mode of every time something is presented to them, they don't just take it in. What they do is they take what's said to them and say, okay, I'm gonna go and check that out. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna figure out what this is that's being talked about, versus, oh, I know he's smart, I know he's intelligent, therefore I'm gonna take what he say as being true. And as a minister, I know that that's what we've done in the churches a lot. we present things in such a way to where we say it in a way that we don't want people to question us, because what we're saying is true and it's from God, and therefore you shouldn't question. No, 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 no. Don't teach people to do that. Teach people to question things that you say, because one of two things is going to happen. It's going to keep me on my toes, and it's going to actually have them into they're in a mode of actually seeking things out and learn this stuff for themselves. So when you go around and say things like Black Lives Matter, and people say all lives are not going to matter until Black Lives Matter. Well, I'm going to say Black lives are not going to matter until Black fathers matter. Period. Black fathers is, I'm just telling you right now, Black fathers, real strong Black fathers, could put an end to a whole lot of this mess that's going on right now. If they were real Black fathers, half this stuff wouldn't be going on right now. Black Lives Matter wouldn't be so able, or even these other organizations, whatever they may be, they wouldn't be so able to actually manipulate these young Black people, these young Black children, into carrying out their evil deeds, because you would have a strong father that's saying, I don't think so. I don't think so. My sons are at an age right now to where they definitely have like a mindset that's like mine. Of course, there's some more maturity and some more development that's going to take place there. But the fact that the foundation of how I think and how I see things have been laid to my son, and so has been laid to a lot of my little young mentorees, that they have this mindset of, it's not that they have the mindset of me. They have the mindset of whatever's been presented to them. Instead of reacting to it, they are, oh, well, I'm gonna go check that out first. I'm gonna look at this before I actually make a, give my analysis on it. So anyway, Black fathers, this is a call out to y'all. If there are any strong Black fathers that's out there right now, I would love for you guys to email me, because what I would want to do, I would want to get you on air and we can have a conversation. That way other people can see that there are strong Black fathers out there who we don't even necessarily have to even know each other, but we share the same ideas. You know what I mean? We share the same type of principles, and we don't even know each other. Your kids are on straight street. They're not out here in the streets doing anything. They're not having children out of wedlock or children early or anything like that, because you are there as a father, a strong Black father, who are not going to let your kids go astray and get caught up in a lot of this mess. Now, my 18-year-old son, he's 18 years old. Okay. He's legally grown, but that doesn't mean that he's mentally or maturely grown. So if my son said to me, I want to go out there and march for Black Lives Matter, we're going to have a serious conversation about that. For one, I'm going to be like, well, the type of person that I am, you can do all the marching you want to and do all those things with Black Lives Matter when you out of my house. See, things that I don't stand for, it's not going to go on in my house. That's why when you become an adult and you want to be on your own, you can make the decision to leave your father's abode and go form your own rules and regulations in your own house. But as far as in this house right here, in this house, absolutely not. You're not going to be doing anything like that whatsoever. Yes, he's 18 years old, but guess what? Guess who still runs this house? I do. Plain and simple. And no evil things are going to be happening in this house. No crazy things is going to be going on in this house. Not in my house. And again, if he decided to just not want to abide by my rules or any of that, I will love my son. I will encourage him. I will help him get his things and move. I won't be mad at him at all. It's just that in this house, there's only one person that's going to be running it, and it's dad. And so anyway, I have two sons right now, 18 years old, 16 years old. Neither one of them ever been in a fight at school. Neither one of them ever gave a teacher a hard time. Neither one of them have a girl pregnant or anything like that. Matter of fact, neither one of them even into the position to where they can even get a girl pregnant. That has nothing to do with me being like this. You might not get a girlfriend. If my sons have a girlfriend or anything like that, they just got a girlfriend. But one thing that's not going to take place is in this house, it won't be no, having their privacy type thing like that, doors being shut or anything like that in the wee hours of the night, whatever. But none of those things like that will be happening. Now, them just want to be like cool and talk, whatever, like that in their room with the door shut during the day. Whatever, that's a whole different ballgame. I'm home, because I'm the type of dad, I don't knock on no doors. I just go and open the door and look. Okay, that's it. I'll do it like every hour. Ain't nothing gonna be going down like that whatsoever. Not gonna run the risk of doing anything like that. So anyway, but again, I know and I don't care, and it's undeniable that the reason why my sons have not fallen into this world system, but how a lot of young men do, is because I'm in the house. From a young age, it's already been established who is the ultimatum authority figure in the house, which is dad. It's already been established who is the stronger one in the house, which is dad. It's already been established at a young age with my sons who is the one that is going to be the meanest one, who's not going to play, who's not going to have no give, who's not going to sit there and patty cake anything. They already got that established at a young age. So since that has already been implanted in their minds, they already know how to be in this house. And not only that, what people seem to miss is a lot of different attributes that you instill in your children from a young age that they carry on into the school systems. My sons know what I stand for. They know the rules and regulations at a young age. I didn't have to sit there and teach them, now look, this is what we do, this is what we don't do. They learn through whenever one of their certain type of attitudes arise up on me, boom, I shut it down. I shut it down. I don't play, period. I shut the stuff down at a young age. They know good and well, dad say it, that's it. Ain't no more trying to come back. Once it's been done, it's done. Shut up. That's it. I shut the stuff down. Because at a young age, their minds are not mature enough and developed enough to know what things that might be in their future that might harm them. Therefore, I'm going to formulate certain characteristics and behaviors in them at a young age that once they get older, they'll look back and say, oh, that's what my dad was trying to keep me from doing. That's why he didn't allow me to have that. Because kids at a young age, they can't see the dangers that's ahead of them. They can't see that, oh, if they get their way, they don't understand by them getting their way all the time, you are formulating a real bad behavior characteristic in them that once they get out there in the real world and see that things don't go their way all the time, they're not gonna be able to cope with that. They're not gonna be able to cope with somebody telling them no. They're not gonna be able to cope with somebody telling them you're not gonna have it your way. This is not happening. And that's why you see a lot of this stuff that's going on in the world today. Come on now, 75%. That means all the black people that you see out there doing Black Lives Matter. If there's 1,000 of them out there, that means 750 of them didn't have dad in the home, not a real strong black father in the home that didn't play that. Because guess what? That's why they all have the attitudes right now that they are entitled to stuff because nobody never told them no. And they're always known for getting things. Nobody ever broke it down to them, telling them this. No, I'm saying, no, you're not getting this. And the reason why you're not getting this is X, Y, and Z. Don't come and say anything to me about it no more because you don't understand. You're too young to. So now here you are with all these young black kids out here that's carrying out the deed of these 3 evil women. And guess why it's easy for them to do that too? Because a lot of times these young black kids, all they ever been under is the authority of a woman. Most likely, if they're in a single parent home, it's going to be their mom. If the mother is not there, most likely it's going to be grandma. Most likely that's going to be raising them. And then I raise you another one. When they go to school, what type of authority figure are they going to be pretty much having there anyway? Most likely their teacher is going to be a female. And it's a really good chance that the ultimate principal of that school most likely is going to be a female. I think I went to one school where the principal was a male. And no, maybe 2. Elementary, I had Mr. Burke was his name, and I was in kindergarten. I remember him because he gave me a spanking. And then there's also Mr. Franklin, who was our male principal at Roosevelt. But other than that, I think most of the other principals that I've had, they were all women. So my point is, I'm just being completely real with you guys. When you get to a certain age as a young man, I'm telling you, mothers, I know I'm not trying to shut y'all down or anything like that. I know y'all do y'all best that y'all can do. But there is a young black man. I was a young black man, still am young. But no, I was a young black man. And I know for a fact, there's a certain level of respect and a certain level of things I know that I could get away with my mom that I couldn't get away with certain mentors in my life, like Keith Anderson. Or at one time, it was my martial arts instructor, Earl Taylor. Or even my white coach, who's been my coach since I was been in the 5th grade, Coach Harback. There was a level of things and how they came at me, those men, that kind of struck me different than what my mom did. I knew at the age of 12, me and my brothers knew we just as big as our mom. My mom really couldn't do nothing that could affect us anymore, that couldn't hurt us or anything like that. But then you had people like Keith who would sit there and grab you and slam you up against a wall or something like that. Or Master Taylor, who didn't play in Taekwondo, he didn't play. You know what I mean? So it's a certain level of respect that you would naturally have. It doesn't have to be taught, but it's just naturally there. And so what I'm saying is, there's things that a lot of folks don't understand. It got to a point one time, I'm just being real with y'all, not trying to call nothing out of my family. I'm not going to say their names, but it got to one time to where I was getting so fed up. I started to realize the level of disrespect that a child can do to their mom. So here you got our mom trying to raise 4 boys and trying to bring, she, you know, she can only do what she can. There's no way. I mean, the job that she had, I forget what it was, but I can tell you this, she was pretty much working just to pretty much stay afloat with just maintain the bills. And we were on food stamps and all that. But my point of saying all that is you start to get to an age where your mind starts to mature. So here I am seeing my mom struggling, trying to take care of all 4 boys, whatever, like that, the best she can, to the point to where, I mean, it got bad to where, you know, it was like, y'all, I hope y'all get a job. You better get a job. When we started working for JTPA in Illinois, like at the age of 13 and 12 years old, some of us did. But anyway, what I'm getting at is this. It got to the point to where she was able to discipline us up to a certain extent. But after a while, it had really no effect. So I had a brother that, man, he would disrespect my mom so much. And I know my mom would try to do whatever she can to keep him in line. But then it got to the point to where I knew I can whoop his butt. I mean, my brother, I was crazy, y'all. I'm just telling y'all, I was crazy. But every time he got like that with my mom, I would just, because I started to see that while I was in school, I saw how other kids were treating their moms, and I seen that how these kids' mom reacted to. Now, my mom never showed no signs. My mom was a strong woman. She never showed no signs within, like, I never seen like no visible characteristics in her face to show that she was hurt by what my brother was doing. But I know it had to be. I knew it had to be. I knew that she had to be hurt by how disrespectful he was and how he was talking to her, because I knew how I seen other kids at this program I went to, or even the school that I was going to at MacArthur. They had another after school program that I would go to where you would sit there in what they call ACE room, and I would be there trying to talk to kids that were kind of at risk, whatever. And I seen how disrespectful they were to moms. And also I would go to an area at the local high school in the auditorium. I would speak to kids, and their moms would come and they would talk to me about certain issues that they have. And I seen how hurt the moms were over how their children were treating them. And so whenever my brother would get disrespectful towards my mom, I was just there quickly. I mean, man, y'all just don't know. I would sit there and be straight breaking my brother off. I mean, I would lock him up. I didn't care, slam him, put him in a hold. You know, I couldn't stand that. So anyway, thanks for the super chat right there, stuff and things. I really appreciate that. Strong black fathers could change America for good more than any other group in society. Young black men with no strong father at home almost just have no chance. I agree. I agree with that. Now, anyway, back to what I was saying is that now what you see going on right now is that a lot of these things that's going on right now, I mean, it's even amongst my family. I'm just telling you, I got cousins, I have siblings that, you know, being young, they probably didn't have a father to lead and guide them into keeping them from making bad choices. And a lot of my own cousins, they had children out of wedlock, whatever you want to call it. I'm not downing them for that. But my point is that not having a strong father there to lead and guide them, to teach them, I'm thinking that they could have kept them from making some of the decisions that they made right now. Now, none of their children are a mistake. They don't feel that way, but they do see how much harder it is for them to have these kids that they have with the fathers not being there in the picture to actually help along the way. So anyway, again, if you guys know of any black fathers out there, I would love to get a hold of them. I would love for them to email me, even if there are fathers who are actually trying to make a stand and going to be back in your young children's life. I would love for you guys to email me. I would love to talk to you, because you definitely can do it. It's not too late. It may not seem like it, but there are a lot of children out there, no matter what. You might not think that they don't, but your children, father, people, the men that are out there, black men, white men, whatever, I'm saying all of y'all right now in this case, you may not think that your child don't think about you because you're not in their lives. You might think that because 15, 16, 20 years in past, you might think that your child thinks about you. They think about you. Now, you can have a way to where you can actually try to open up that gate of communication. Let me read this super chat real quick. Captain Spire, I appreciate the super chat, says, I'm still having a hard time thinking how 70% of black families have no father. If it were not for my father, I'd have no work ethic or no Christ. Exactly. Captain Store, see, here's the thing, though. I told you guys, and I think I got an idea. I'm going to be making a hat. You know how they have MAGA hats? I'm going to have a hat that says MGGA. It don't stand for Make God Great Again. And that's the issue, because one of the things is you find in the Bible, there's a principle. Now, if you're not Christian, then I'm not talking to you. You know, I'm not, but I'm just telling you, there's, from the God that I follow, there's a principle that he has set up where it says God is the head of Christ. Christ is the head of man. Man is the head of the woman. Now, people look at this the wrong way and want to get all, well, what you trying to say? See, that's what I'm saying. Whenever people have put in certain principles out there in the world that go against the principles of God, that's where you start to have a whole lot of issues. I talked about this a while ago. And the thing is, it has nothing to do with nobody trying to have some sort of rulership over you. What it has everything to do with is the benefits from having that. There's a reason why somebody is the CEO of the company that you work for. Now, the CEO may be the CEO of the company and you're working under him, but that CEO has nothing to do with how you do the job that you do. So follow me for a little bit. You have a CEO, and let's just say if you work as a PA or a nurse or a doctor or a therapist, that CEO doesn't know what your job is specifically. He just knows that the job that he's supposed to have is to make sure that the company that you're working for stays afloat with certain type of finances, doing business exchanges and certain things in stocks and bonds to make sure that the company is there, make sure it's on point to keep you guys happy. That's what his job is to do. But the CEO job is not to go down and meddle in the affairs of what your personal manager or the director of your particular work area does. That's not his job to do that. His job is to make sure that that company stays afloat. So my point is, by having a CEO is benefiting everybody, because the CEO is making sure that money is flowing into the company. That way y'all can possibly get a raise or get better health care coverage. That's what his job is to do. So what am I saying here? It has nothing to do with the CEO ruling over me or dominating me or anything like that. But the thing is, the issue is, ladies, I'm just being real with y'all. That's what this world system has taught a lot of y'all to think of when it comes to y'all being in your marriage or anything like that. No, I don't rule over my wife or run my wife or anything like that. But throughout marriage, you start to see the benefits of having your husband there in certain circumstances. I don't care who you are. My wife right now, and there's no embarrassment to her. There's so much she can do and say to my sons. And when he gets beyond that point, I'll step in, boom, shut it down. It's over, just like that. And trust me, I'm not saying this to brag or any kind of way like that whatsoever. So take it how you want to. I am a man. I know what's going on in this world. I know that there's no way that I'm going to be emasculated. You can try, but it's not going to happen. Absolutely not. I know who I am. I know what I stand for as a man. And there's no way. I don't care what narrative you try to come at me with. Well, you need to be a little bit more. No, I know they say that everybody has some testosterone and estrogen in them. I don't have no estrogen. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm one of the I'm one of the few men. I don't have none of that in me. I know they say, well, you're 90% testosterone and 10% estrogen. Not me. I'm sorry. No, I don't have no feminine side or nothing like. I don't have nothing like that whatsoever. I'm all masculine, period. I'm not no toxic masculinity. That's just a way of just trying to divert from the fact that a man is being a man and being masculine, period. I'm not going to sit there. Oh, well, I shouldn't be so manly. You lost your mind. I'm a man, period. And guess what? My sons growing up, I didn't have to teach them how to be a man or how to be young men growing up. Guess all I had to do? All I had to do was be me. All I had to do was be a father, be a husband, all the things I do out there in the world, whether it's public speaking, whatever. All I had to do was those things. My sons sat there and watched how their dad is. And therefore, those certain type of characteristics got instilled in them without me having to say a word to them whatsoever. So anyway, let me go back to what I was saying about this whole notion about, I was saying about my wife is that, you know, it's to a certain extent of things that they can do, right? Just like with everybody else. And as a man, there's certain things to a certain extent that I can only do. But then guess what? Guess who I go and console in? I go and console in my Father. I go and console in Jesus about how to do certain things. Because if I don't know it at the moment, or I don't know how to actually carry out this certain task, then I ask him for wisdom in it. So what I'm saying is this: don't look at you being in your marriage or anything like that as if your husband is ruling over you like he's some, listen to me, woman, you're the woman and you're the this and you're no. What you really need to do is quit trying to let them manipulate you to see your husband that way. I'm just as equal as my husband. No, you're not. I'm sorry, y'all. You're not. I'm talking about with certain things. I'm talking about, again, folks, I remember I said I'm directing this at folks that are of the faith or they're Christian. I'm not directing this at folks that don't believe that way. But if you want to listen, that's fine. So what I'm saying is this: God set the principles up that way. God is the head of man. Man is the head of the woman, you know, so on and so forth. But when it all comes down to it, the CEO of all of it is God. So what I'm saying is God is the one that's trying to keep this whole thing called a family unit afloat. But what happened is that we let the world's way of trickery make its way into the family. And guess what it did? It dismantled the family to the point to where it made it to a way to where the man can be put out of the house. If you go back, I'm young, but I've been doing some studying. Thank you, Thomas Sowell. Thank you, Jordan Peterson. Thank a lot of these folks that I've been studying, especially Thomas Sowell. Larry Elder, big shout out to Larry Elder. What you learn is that, for one, guys, I never even heard about no Jim Crow laws or affirmative action. I just learned about that a few months ago. This was not taught in school. This was not taught during Black History Month. None of that. Okay. So my point of saying all that is that Black families were more together during the Jim Crow laws than they are right now, even though the United States was way more racist back then than it is right now. How in the world is that? How in the world? What happened to where, and here's another thing too, 99% of all Blacks during the Jim Crow laws and even going into the slavery period were strong people of faith and Christianity. But what happened is that what was allowed is that they allowed this world's way of thinking to make its way into the family and just totally dismantle a lot of things to where they completely move the man out of the picture, and then the government end up becoming the people's father. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's what I'm saying. So when all those things happen and you educate people on this and you get them to see this is what happened, the response should be, wait a minute, they did this to us. How do we get that back? You get it back by having conversations like this. You get it back by actually getting the word out to the community. You get it back by actually raising your children to be respectable young men, to be great husbands. Not only that, to tell them in a way to where that's one of the main goals they should have, is to focus on being a great man, number one, a great man, number one, or a great woman, number one. The next thing is to be a great husband, number one, or a great wife, number one. And then once they have children, make sure your goal is to be a great husband or a great mother. But for some reason, the world don't want nobody to have that. They don't want you to have any of those things. They want you and they want your children to be raised by a system. They want your children to be raised by Black Lives Matter. And if you look at Black Lives Matter mission statement, I know they changed a lot of stuff. Thank God I printed it out before Black Lives Matter changed it. But the point is, why is an organization trying to serve as being the parent of your children? Why is the organization so, why are they so zoned in on making sure they have nothing to do with men? Why? Why are they so zoned in on supporting and backing everybody up that has everything to do with not having no more procreation? Why is that? Why is that? Now, I told you once again, so they can hit me off on this. I don't have nothing against people that are homosexual whatsoever. I have a lot of friends that are homosexual. One of my best friends that I grew up with, he's homosexual. But my point is, why is it that so much support is being behind people that are not going to be able to procreate? And not only that, so there we go. No creation, right? No creation, because two men can't have a child, two women can't have a child. So no procreation, not naturally. Okay, so then we got the other thing that goes on with that too, is to remove the father from the home. If the father is not there, then most likely whoever is left there is going to be who the child is going to turn to. And I love this because even though we are the far more superior, where we're supposed to be, well, we know we are, but some people just don't know. We're the far superior intellectual of all the creation that God has made. If you notice, you can see things right now. You can go on YouTube. You can type in things right now where babies, when they're born, don't know who their father is. I got to show y'all this awesome video too that my sons recorded and I recorded. These baby squirrels in our backyard. I don't know what, guys. They came up to me, and one of them, boy, I almost flipped out. One of them jumped and crawled up my leg. But anyway, we spent like 3 hours with these baby squirrels in our backyard because they didn't know no danger. Their parent wasn't there. So they have no sense of no danger. But guess what they did? All of a sudden, these baby squirrels are following me around. I'm laying down in the grass. They coming by me. I gave one like a little pecan. It's eating from me. And when I walk somewhere, these little baby squirrels are coming behind me. And like some of our neighbors came up and saw. They were like, "Oh my God, you must have really good energy." I'm like, I don't know what's going on. But my point is that by being babies, they don't know that my dog Balin wants to kill them. And by being babies, they have no sense of danger. They have no awareness that I could kill them. Y'all know what I'm getting? Y'all see what I'm getting at? As babies, they have no sense of danger. But since there's nothing there, all they're going to do is revert to the next thing that possibly can lead them. So here you got these baby squirrels out here around me. They don't know if I'm their mother or father. They don't know anything. All they know is that I'm a living organism that's moving. So they followed me, having no idea of no immediate danger that I could just took them and killed them or anything like that. So what I'm saying is this also is that in the animal kingdom, I love watching Animal Kingdom. You learn a lot of wisdom from that. In the animal kingdom, some animals are born and they don't know who their mother are. They got videos of like a lion taking care of an antelope. They got videos of a tiger taking care of a lion baby. They got videos of these bears, a bear, tiger, and a lion all growing together, and they think that they're actually family. You know what I'm saying? So my point is this: it's a reason why they target young people, because young people are not fully developed. They know that the protection of the parent, definitely the father, is not there. And so because of the undevelopment that's in the child's mind, they have no sense of danger. They have no sense of right or wrong. So what they do, they follow the person that seems to be giving them the most attention. The baby squirrel came right up to me, folks. I could have just ran away. That would have been the end of it. But I stayed there. I'm trying to figure out what is it going to do. He walked up to me doing his little, and then it just went by my leg. And then my wife, she ran in the house and shut the screen, but she recorded it. And then I was like, oh my God, this little thing. And then he just jumped on my leg and crawled up a little bit. Then he jumped off. But then after that, like I said, they just started following. It actually was by itself. And then the baby squirrel, I kid you not, I have this all on video. I will show you guys. Then the little baby squirrel ran off and then went and got his brother or his sister. I don't know. But then both of them came back our way. Again, that's a great example, right? I never knew that I was going to end up. This just all came back flooding in my mind today while I was telling y'all this, because God must have knew. But that's what I'm saying. We have not. Go ahead and take them. And I'm just talking about, I'm calling out the church too. A lot of young men that have been sexually molested or abused by pastors or priests, the same exact thing a lot of times goes with them too. They did not have their father in the home. They did not have their father. They didn't have that protection. You can argue this all you want to, but as I'm seeing right now, like some folks say, well, I don't believe in this whole, because the father or the husband, you can say that all you want to, but the statistics show you're talking to a guy who came up in a single parent home knowing good and well what I could have got away with my own mom. My mom is probably in here right now too. We got to a certain age, a certain height, a certain way. There was only so much my mom can do. But knowing different, that there was a strong male there who's going to be able to grab you and slam you up against that wall that you know good and well. That's not going. I don't care what any of y'all say. You're not the one. For the ones that like to argue this, most of the time, most folks like to argue against and say that has nothing to do with black fathers being home. Most of them most likely ain't black. That just amazes me. You not at a 75% of not having your father in the home. That's exactly what it is. That's what it's going to come down to. So a lot of these things that we see got going on, the statistics show that kids are at a higher rate of committing crimes, of dropping out of school, of getting a girl pregnant early, getting in fights, doing crime. All of them have that high rate when the father is not present. So to sit there and try to say, well, it has nothing to do with father, they don't have to be there. Yeah, you saying that to somebody that came up with 75% of fathers being gone. But that's not the solution. Yes, that is a solution. I don't care what anybody say. That right there is a solution. If you have some type of statistics and facts to rebuttal, I'll be more than happy. Send it to my email. Go to my YouTube channel, click the about section. My email will be right there. Send me the email. But no matter what, I lived a life. I came up with other black kids who had the same exact life that I did. I came with other black kids who also did not have the father in the home. I came with other black kids that when we talked to our fathers, we realized that their fathers wasn't in their lives either. Plain and simple. My own father, rest his soul, my own father, his father was not in his life. And not only was his father not in his life, his father was not trying to really claim him. I have another one. I call him my father, Pastor Wilson. Same exact thing. Really didn't have his father in his life at all. But thank God he's not like that. Now, it's not to bring no type of bad attention to him. But as a young man, my own pastor, when I call my father, he also fathered a lot of children by different women. He said all the time, if his father had been there to X, Y, and Z, he know that he wouldn't have made the choices that he made. Let's see. Let me see what some of y'all have to say here. Richard said, morning from Indiana. Good day, pal. Good day to you too. The Deadwood says social welfare depends on the father not being there in the hoods. Deadwood, that's absolutely true. I got co-workers that I work with right now. They were told that the only way they can get Section 8 and some other benefits, they said that the father couldn't be there. That just blew my mind. I mean, it blew my mind like this still today, that in order for them to receive certain benefits, the dad, there can't be a dad there. There can't be a man in the house. And then there was a time that I was told that they would actually do like these random checks to see who's actually, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Let's see. I know that I did a lot of talking and some of y'all made comments. And if you're trying to get my attention and you want me to see what your comment is, put the @ sign, then put out MODER. When you put out MODER, it will fill it in for you. It will fill in Modern Renaissance Man. When it fills it in, hit enter. Type your message, hit enter again. If you're on a phone or a tablet, put the @ sign, put capital MRM, say your message, and let's see if I can catch it. The Deadwood said we also need to look at the reasons and causes why men are not staying in the family. What is influencing for them to leave? Deadwood, you know what, to be honest with you, I think it's just because they make it easy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of young black men that I know, that I talk with there, some of them are really good friends of mine. The reason why is because it's almost like it's clockwork. It's almost like it's routine. It's rinse and repeat. You know what I mean? Everything that you've seen people in your hood or your neighborhood or in your area do, and the men and the people that you surround yourself with, everything that you see that them do, and especially if it has a positive feedback loop, everything that you see them do without even question, it seems like it just gets instilled and they just repeat and do it. You know, then we got a culture of music and everything like that that actually encourages us to do those things. I mean, when Snoop them came out, I'm telling you, I'm not putting, look, when Snoop them came out and all the music was about getting some bees and hoes and hitting it and how many hoes they banged and, you know, all that, then it seemed like the culture actually converted to doing things like that. The culture of the hood actually conformed to that. All of a sudden, people, I'm like, y'all ain't never drunk no gin. I've never seen nobody in the hood drinking gin and juice. But the minute Snoop them start singing about gin and juice and Tanqueray, all of a sudden I'm seeing all black folks in the neighborhood drinking gin and juice and drinking Tanqueray. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that culturally, that a lot of folks just adapt to that because that's what they see. They're only repeating what they see. And having sex with multiple women is actually praised. Matter of fact, I had a friend, I'm not gonna call him out, he know who he is. Every time we got into some type of talk, and mainly it was sports because I was a way better athlete than him, way far superior than him, he would always say the craziest thing to me. Like I would say things like, dude, I'm a starter in basketball. Like every game I've started, every game I average, 16 to 25 points, every single game. Dude, I'm like the most lettered athlete that came out of the high school. I got a letter for playing varsity all through basketball, four letters, and I got a letter for being on varsity in track and field. I got 8 letters. Out of the blue, for some odd reason, he would say, well, that's why I get more than you. He's talking about the P word. I get more of a JJ than you. I used to always be like, and then some of the people around us used to be like, oh. I used to be like, what does that have to do with anything? That's what he said. Or he'll say, I got more holes than you. And everybody will, oh, and I'm like, oh my God, congratulations. You got a higher chance of getting chlamydia. You got a higher chance of getting syphilis. You got a higher chance of getting AIDS. Good for you. But see what I'm saying? The whole point is that in the streets, having hoes or how many girls you bang, it is actually like lifted up. Like, yeah, man, all right. It's known that, man, that's what dudes, we used to always hear people say this all the time in the hood. They'd be like, hey, man, you see old boy right there? Hey, man, he got hoes, man. That's what they used to do. So as a young man, when you listen to things like that, you see that your peers are bragging about some cool dude having a bunch of hoes. So what does that do? You looking up to your peers, you want them to be like that towards you. You want to fit in with them. You want them to brag on you. You know what I mean? So by bragging on you, you go and try to get as many hoes as you can get. And they be like, oh, you got all these girls. Oh, look at this. This dude got hoes, man. Hey, that's what I'm dating. So what I'm saying is that the wrong and moral thing that a lot of people do in the hood, it is actually praised. It's not looked at as being bad. So the culture of it is completely messed up. That's why we have so many young pregnancies like that. I told me and my wife had to talk about this. I said, you know what? And I had to talk with a lot of white people. I told them, is it in you guys' world or family, is it actually praise for, white people to get as many girlfriends as they can, to have sex with as many girls as they can? Like, is that actually a thing that's pushed amongst white people? They were like, no. And I even went on beyond that. Is there anything in white? I mean, you guys can answer this for me too. Is there anything amongst white people in y'all music that is pushed and praised for y'all to have sex with multiple partners? I mean, I'm just asking for real, because the most of the people I talk to are like, no. But then the question comes down to it is, why is it that it's so much pushed amongst our culture? And even when it is pushed among our culture, if you don't live up to that, then you a lame. You know what I mean? You a lame dude. Like, I mean, if you even talk about, now I just want one girlfriend, and then people are talking about being a player and all this, I mean, it's crazy. Kyle Johnson said, a long time ago, I told you my heart rate was over 180. That my heart rate was 180 over 110, and you said I needed to go get checked out. I did, and it saved my life. Woo, Kyle, I'm glad to hear that. It saved my life, and thank you, and my family thanks you as well. Kyle Johnson, I'm so glad that happened. I'm so thankful that you went and did that, man. Yeah, because when you said, I look, when people tell me things like that, that's I'm like, hey, you need to get off of it. I remember I was like, get off, go get yourself checked out now. Like, stop talking, go do it now. Yeah. Yes, I'm so glad to hear that, man. You probably was on the verge of getting ready to have a stroke or a heart attack or something like that, a hemorrhage. John Joseph said, yo, I found you on the Brandon Tatum ABL Live. Love the content. You have helped me tremendously. Praise God. Ty, thanks, and keep it up. John Joseph, I appreciate that. Akanwali Alaboiki says, it's the 21st century and we're still considered second class. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Okay. Richard Frawley says, LBJ, Great Society created generations on dependence on the government and money. And the thing is, folks, that once you have delved that deep into it, there's a lot of folks that don't want to get out of it. See, the thing is, and here's the issue though. When you have someone who was very capable of doing things for themselves, but because people kept on giving them things, I'll give you an example. There are some children that when I did pediatrics in Florida, there are some children that did not know how to walk, all because the parents neglected to encourage their children to walk. So how is it possible that you got 4 and 5-year-old children in here? They're physically, there's nothing wrong with them, but they can't walk because the parents, I'm just being real, some of the parents, they were left with the grandparents. The grandmother is like 68 years old. She has a bad back. She has surgery. She has a replaced hip and all that. So she can't pick the child up to try to teach the child to walk. But the reason why the child is 4 and 5 years old and have not walked yet, because the mother is a meth head, and all she cared about, she just left the baby there, and the grandmother did her best, but the grandmother can't physically, the grandmother literally physically cannot pick the baby up to walk. So what we have is these children that are underdeveloped. Now, in the midst of trying to teach these kids to walk, we literally have to put them like in a big size, pretty much like a walker. Y'all remember the baby walkers? They got the wheels, all the 4 wheels, and you got to put their legs in there, like, you know what I mean? And this particular type of harness, you got to teach these kids how to walk, and they will cry and 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 cry. But my job was not to sit there and cater to their tears. My job was to get those kids to walk. So when they would come in and they saw, when the kids would come in and they saw me, they would instantly, they knew that this dude is about to make me do something that I don't want to do. Now, that's just talking about on a physical level, because the child has become accustomed and the child has become comfortable with not trying to walk. Even though they're capable, they have no idea that by walking, all the opportunities they would have if they walked. They have no idea that they won't have to rely on grandma to try to, this grandmother in particular, y'all, this grandmother, what she did to get the shot around, she had I forget what it was called, but anyway, somebody made her a particular a type of thing to where pretty much, let's just say this, the child would be on a sheet, and underneath the sheet was a type of sled, and the grandmother had a particular rope with the sled, so she would have to pull the child throughout the house, whatever like that, on this sled. So now the child became so accustomed to that now that they have to come and see me, the child is crying because the child knows I'm going to make you walk. But they have no idea that even though what I'm doing is making it uncomfortable, for them, that what I'm doing is actually giving them opportunity. Some folks don't see it that way mentally, what we got going on right now. They don't see that me coming at them, or they, oh my God, Ty's getting ready to come at me. He's not going to have no, because, you know, if people know, one thing they say about people, if you ever been a therapist, physical therapy or anything like that, they'll tell you that, you know what the difference between a therapist and a terrorist is? The difference between a therapist and a terrorist is therapists don't negotiate. Therapists don't negotiate. You can cry all you want to. You can cuss at us. We still going to make you do it. You know, so my point is this. There are people out there that's just like this child mentally. They are so accustomed to everybody pulling them everywhere, doing everything for them, giving them everything to where they don't have to get it for themselves. And those type of people that are in that mental state, it's hard to put those people in something and say, look, I'm not saying that today you're going to be full-fledged walking. But what I'm saying, let's work towards you walking, because here's the thing. What you don't understand is that once you get to a place to where you're able to walk, the great opportunities that you're going to have is being able to go where you want to, when you want to, without having to rely on nobody to try to pull you somewhere. And not only that, do you understand, by doing that, you putting a burden on other people's lives as well. So what I'm saying is that physically, once these children learn how to walk on their own, they are able to get up and go anywhere and do anything they want. But if I was to sit there and say, well, no, poor baby. Yes, that's right. I know your mama left you. Yeah, and your daddy ain't there. And I know grandma got to pull you around that sled. But you know what I'm going to do for you? I'm going to get you the best sled you can get. We're going to get you the best sled money can buy. And we're going to also bring some people that's going to be able to help your grandma out. And they're going to pull you anywhere you want to go. But you know, what now? Oh, we're going to get you a new sheet to put on that sled. And while you at it, we're going to put a little table tray right there that we're going to nail onto the sled and harness on there. That way you can eat from the sled and everybody else can do everything. For all none what your sled gone bad, don't worry. We're going to give you another sled. We're going to give you a better sled. And you know why? Because we love you and we want the best for you. So therefore, we're going to keep on giving you this sled. Keep on giving that child that sled. And that child is never going to know that the opportunities that they can have is learning how to walk. That way they won't have to rely on that sled. That way they can have the opportunity to go and do what they want to without nobody sitting there saying, I want the best for you, by giving you things that's going to keep on constantly keeping you mentally debilitated or physically debilitated. So what we need in this world, you need some physical, you need some mental, we need some spiritual, physical therapist type minded people that says, I'm going to get you up off your feet no matter what. But the difference what we have today is most of the people that you try to reach like this, it's their choice. That's the issue. And you know what? And it's the same thing that God gave to all of us. The biggest blessing and curse that we all have is free will. Adam and Eve, right from the beginning. People say these things all the time about me. Well, how come if all this stuff, if your God is this, then why is he letting so much bad stuff happen? He's not letting bad stuff happen. Bad people are doing bad things. Well, if God is so good, see, that's what I'm saying. All the good things happen, and people say, thank God for his goodness. When all the bad things happen, they say, well, curse God for his badness. No, the reason why good things are happening, yes, we have a good God, but the reason why good things are happening is not necessarily because there's a good God. We have good things that are happening because of free will, and people are exercising their free will to do good things. The reason why we have bad things is because people are exercising their free will to do bad things. It has nothing to do with God. See, that don't make no sense. An all-knowing, all omnipresent God. Well, why is he letting so much bad things happen? No, it's not that he's letting anything bad happen. Bad people are deciding to do bad things. And because he is a just God, it's free will. Plain and simple. All right. MRM, let's see. Lawrence Rectano says, MRM, I wish you had a Facebook page so I can show you my artwork. Lawrence, hey, send it to me through my email, man. Well, I think it is for men, but not having multiple children with mutually women. I mean, my dad had 5 kids with 3 women, and he was looked down upon in his small town. I I'm just saying, is the way things are supposed to be. It should be that one man having children with that one woman. I know in today's world that's just like old fashioned. No, like me. I think Matt Beckham made a comment earlier and said, I don't know all the black people I know that are still married are in their 60s. And I was going to say, Matt, I'm almost 20 years in. Okay, let me see what else. Kyle Johnson says, in rock and roll, I'm white, by the way. They sing about booze, drugs, sex. Now we enjoy that sort of music, but mostly we see that behavior as adolescents and instance not the way it should be. Oh, okay. So what I'm getting at too, though, Kyle, is that I know you're answering the question. I say, is there music that actually promotes it? Now, see, what I'm saying is this. I heard about people that in the rock and roll world who had sex with multiple women, but what I'm getting at is, does the music actually promote and encourage and praise people that do it? Like people say rock and roll, drugs, and sex. You know, you hear that because these people that are of that celebrity type status, you hear about that because they go and do it. But I don't know. Even though I've done over 2,500 reaction songs, I don't know if there's any rock and roll songs or any country songs or anything out there that actually encourages and praise young men to have multiple sex partners. Lance Zenner says MRM reparations are equal to how our true nature reacts to the Christ. It's never a sure thing that having the Christ stand face to face with you that you would automatically believe. Lance Zenner, that is absolutely right. That's absolutely right. It's a matter of choice. That's why I say it's a matter of free will. If you go this direction, these are the benefits that's going to come with it. It's not going to be easy, but see, when people hear things like it's not going to be easy, they instantly shut down. You want to know why? Because doing wrong and not doing anything is easy. So now if you tell them, hey, in order to get here, it's just like the analogy I just gave you about the little kids that's trying to walk. It's not easy for them to do it. So that's why it's not easy. That's why they don't want to do it, because it's not easy. I have to actually do something. Jesus healed a man in the Bible. This man had been waiting years on years on years on years on years, waiting to be healed, waiting for the angel to come and trouble the water, hoping somebody can put him in the water so he can be healed. Jesus came and asked him, will he be made whole? The man said yes. Jesus told him to do something. He didn't say, sit there while I put my hands above you and then you're going to get up and walk. Jesus told that man, take up your bed and walk. Now, this you telling somebody that never walked in his life to get up and take up your bed and do it. Guess what? That man took up his bed and he walked. So my point is, Jesus offered him the solution, but also told him he had to do something in order to get his solution, which was to get up and walk. Now, if that man would have sat there, now, Jesus, come on now. I've been sitting there for 38. I've been sitting there for 38 years, hoping that the angel travel. I wanted somebody to put me. I've been sitting there every day, and you just gonna come in and tell me to walk. Man, forget that, man. I ain't about to get up. I can't. What do I look like walking, Jesus? Huh? Come. He didn't do that, did he? But that's what people do today. You got excuses why you don't get actually do something. It requires you. That's how the world operates. The people that are actually giving you handouts and making it easy for you, you know that they are actually doing something to give you those handouts. So imagine if the welfare system did what you're doing. Imagine if they did nothing. You wouldn't have nothing. And if you didn't have nothing, guess what it required you to do? It required you to get off your butt and do something. I'm not talking to people who are physically disabled or have a disability or anything like that. I'm talking to well-capable young men and young women who are capable of going to school, who are capable of getting the education, who are capable of doing something physically, who are capable of going to learn a skill or a trade. That's who I'm talking to. Those are the ones I'm talking to. Okay, let's see. MRM, you are so right, but there are still people who say people who kill many but believe to God are better than people who do not. But wait a minute. You are so right, but there are still people who say people who kill many but believe to God are better than people who do not believe in God to do these things. And sadly, there are many. No, absolutely not. I don't care. If you believe in God and you kill, that's wrong. Plain and simple. Now, we need to talk about what you mean by that, though. If you are a police officer or you are a soldier or anything like that, and you are defending the country or you are defending somebody else, whatever like that, we're not talking about that. That's a whole different ballgame, because if that's the case, people forget to read the Bible that David killed Goliath's whole family. We forget about Moses, them killing people. We forget about things like that. And he wrote the 10 Commandments. And correct me if I'm wrong, David came after Moses was around when the 10 Commandments was written. So to sit there and say we're not supposed to kill or anything like that, that's all circumstantial, big time. Because if somebody try to harm me and my family, they probably not going to live. Well, Ty, you're a Christian, believe in God, you're not supposed to kill. You don't understand what he means by that. You know. When he said he hates hands that shed innocent blood, that's another example right there. But to have it blatantly in my heart that I'm just looking for somebody like real murderers and killers, we're not talking about them. But I get what you're saying. Dads are so important to parents, is so important. Great conversation. I'm thankful for your channel. Appreciate that, Shannon Lasky. Let's see. Matt Beckham said, girls just need to cut off all guys who don't act right. Absolutely. But guess what? I told y'all, and I'm not bragging on him. I'm just telling y'all the truth, because the man was a great father figure to me and a mentor. Dr. Wendell Becton has 3 girls. Neither one of them went down this path. Dr. Becton was the same exact way. Dr. Becton is a man. He has his wife. He teaches his girls right. But I've sat there and witnessed it for myself. And it's not to say anything about their family business, because I'm not giving no mind details. But I've seen where the girls at one point had become disrespectful to the mother, and they went back and forth. When Dr. Becton stepped in, it was shut down. And now I'm gonna give you another example. I told y'all too how I know how my sons can get to a certain point with my wife before I step in. Boom, it's shut down. See, when real authority is recognized, the ones that are on the side of seem like they're kind of bucking up against authority. What happened when Donald Trump was asking these mayors to let me step in and help? What happened when he was saying, let the real authority step in and help? Some of them, we don't want your help. We don't want your help. I have single mothers that are the same exact way. They will sit there and let their children run them over. And I say, look, all I got to have you do is sign this paper right here, saying that you put me down as a legal guardian. Put me down as a legal guardian. Watch what happens. Well, see, when it all comes to it, you really don't want your son to change. You really don't want your daughter to change. You want them to keep on wrecking shop, disrespecting you? Okay, go ahead. What happened when the people that asked for the help, what happened when he sent them in there? It got shut down real quick. Those rioters and protesters, whatever, Chaz, whatever you want to call it, they recognized when real authority was coming in. And when real authority came in, it got shut down real quick. It's the same exact principles, folks. That's why I tell people a lot of things that I learned from governing my own home. When real authority shows up, the ones that are bucking up against law and order or rules and regulations of a house, it gets shut down. I restore order in my house. I did it since I joke about this all the time. It's been times where I would come in and I would come to my house and I would hear my wife yelling at my sons. This is when they were younger. Okay, I'm talking about like they were maybe 8 and 5. I would hear her, stop it, quick, get off of that, quick, stop it. What did I just tell you? I would hear that. I would just stand outside my door, just hearing my wife say this. I kid you not. The minute I put my key in the keyhole and turned it, the house went silent. They knew, my sons knew at a young age, oh crap, dad is coming through that door. Now, did it have everything to do with the fact that I'm their dad? Or did it have everything to do with they knew what I represented? They knew that I represented order. They knew that I represented that. Plain and simple. When dad gets home, we know that we cannot do that, because when he gets home, it's about to be some order that's about to be laid. It had nothing to do with the fact that I was just dad. They knew that what I represented as who I was as a man in my house, they knew what I represented. They knew what my authority represented. So when I put that keyhole in the door, I'm talking about the house went quiet. And I'll step in there, and all of a sudden they try to be tricky, thinking I'm stupid. One of my sons will come right up to me and be like, Dad, I was being good, and look what I colored. I'm like, nice try. I just heard what was going on with your mom yelling at, don't even try. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let's see. I'm getting ready to see what you guys are saying and quit blabbing on. And let's see here. We got a troll in here. We want some attention. Okay, let's see. Lance Zinner says, family, friends, a relationship, a fellowship, and truth and love are intended purposes. We are created with a purpose to love and to be loved. That's right. Look out for our fellow man. The biggest thing you can do is make it to where you can actually be trying to do something that's going to enhance another person's life. There's nothing more rewarding. I'm telling you, I learned that from being a therapist. There's nothing more rewarding than actually getting a person to victory. There's nothing more rewarding than seeing a person who was debilitated actually being able, I mean, just, man, y'all, just, that's why it never gets old, man. When you see somebody come in that's debilitated, and by the time they're done with you, they're on their own, they're walking, they're happy and all this. That's one of the most rewarding. That's why it never gets old. That's why in this, what I do as far as being on this channel and trying to help people, to help build people up and get them, is nothing more rewarding. It never gets old. And I think that's the reason why Jesus put that type of desire and that type of love in me, because that's why Jesus went around and did that, because it's nothing more rewarding than seeing people actually succeeding and doing well for themselves. But the way that the world wants to put it on us is, no, I want to be above all you guys. I don't want nobody to be at the same level that I am mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I don't want you there. I've learned that people done that in churches too. People start to actually notice other young ministers in the church, like, oh man, he does a good job. I like this young man. Yeah, I like this. And all of a sudden, the main pastors or the head pastor of the church, they stop letting you preach up there a lot more. Well, no, just continue to be the musician for us. It's like, then you got they people, their own family. Dad, how come you keep let Ty preach, man? Ty does a really good job. Look what happened when Ty preached. A lot of people come and then the dad, the pastor of the church, want to, I've been there before, done that. I've done that in multiple churches where I would go in there. That's why I tell people I never do anything fast. I never just try to jump on board and join somebody's church. I need to know what it stands for, because if I join the church and I begin to speak and teach, and people begin to actually like that, and they start putting it in the pastor's ear, hey, yeah, let him, yeah. Then all of a sudden, the pastor then take that as a threat, or this guy's going to be equal to me or better than me, so I'm going to make sure I keep him hush. Just, keep being a musician for us right now. Then, So then next thing you know, you find it to where I'm speaking once every 3 or 4 months. And it's like, no. That's why I don't do things too fast. I find out what the heart of the person is first. Get to know the person first. Okay, let's see here. MRM, self-doubt will keep you locked up in your own prison with no chance of ever being free. Believe in yourself and follow God's teachings no matter the situation, and you can move a mountain. I believe that. I hear what you're saying on that. Yet at the same time, a lot of times it's because a person has not been exposed to seeing what their own potential is. It can be something. Look, I tell people all the time, what really made me I have a lot of things in my life that I call life-changing moments. I call them life-changing moments. One of the life-changing moments for me is when Keith Anderson of Homework Hangout, like, just think, I'm used to the ghetto. I'm used to the projects, like, I'm used to that type of seeing that type of environment. You become used to dead grass and gray buildings and nothing is colorful. You're used to seeing bars around the windows and all that. Keith Anderson put us in a van and he drove us to to us, it was rich, but I know now it's just a middle-class neighborhood. But my point is, the grass was green, the yards were trimmed, kids were riding bikes in the street, the people had their windows wide open. You can see people walking back and forth in their house. It blew my mind. Like, whoa, like, wait a minute, how do I get, like, I want that? Yeah, that's what I want to live like right there. That's what, and then that's when he said, okay, well, you can live like that. Y'all all can live like that. It's easy. All you have to do is X, Y, and Z. So you telling me all I got to do is finish high school and become a welder or a carpenter or go to a mechanic school or try to go off to college. You tell me by doing that, I'll be able to, that's all I got to do. He's like, that's all. So I don't know why, but that just piqued, that just really just piqued something in me. I'm telling you. But yet at the same time, you have the influences of There may be a family and a bunch of kingpin drug worlds that say we can get that same thing too. Matter of fact, we have that same thing. Would have to put not even that much effort into doing it. But at the same time, a lot of my family and peers that's about their life, they didn't hate on me because I chose not to go that direction to get it. They actually encourage, oh, that's good. They talk about it to other family members. Look at my cousin right here. You know, look at my nephew right here. Look what he's doing. Look what he's doing. That's, you know, but so anyway, I'm just telling you, I just wanted to share that with y'all. That was one of my, what I call my life-changing moments, is seeing that lifestyle living. Okay, be strong and courageous. Be strong and courageous says MRM, 100% facts. These facts need to be taught in home, at school. Blessings. Yep. But when it comes down to it, man, it needs to be taught at home. I think it'd be a really cool thing just to have, like, I would love to be like some sort of a teacher that actually has my own class at a college or something like that, or even at a high school, where I teach these ethics to young men, period, white and black. This is the route right here. This is the route. But I know that's the reason why those type of things are not. You want to talk about sexual education in school. You want to talk about Black Lives Matter and stuff like that now in school. You want to talk about race relations and stuff like that in school. But you are not teaching nobody how to be an independent, responsible adult. Why is that not being taught? Or we'll talk about sex. We'll talk about not being transphobic. We'll talk about not hurting nobody's feelings. We'll talk about you don't have a right to have an opinion. We'll talk about Black Lives Matter. We'll talk about how you shouldn't judge nobody according to their skin. But what you're not talking about is actual individual responsibility, how you shouldn't be thinking and judging like that on a person whatsoever from the beginning, period. And individual responsibility, they don't know. It's the reason why they don't want that in the school. They don't want no really good law-abiding citizens out there, but then yet these very people who the schools are pushing out, you gonna turn around and defend them when they do something criminally, and then they get shot or they get beat up or they get, roughed up by the police. Now, I'm not saying police brutality is a right, because it's not. I believe that right now, what's going on right now, we are seeing a total reform with some of everything. I told y'all the other day on my video that kept getting cut. I'm not gonna look at this as, oh, look at all the evil things that are going on. Look at all the bad things that are going on. That's not what I'm going to look at it as. I'm going to look at this as, look all the light that's been shed on the darkness. And now that we see what's going on in the darkness, we can go and address those things that are going on in the darkness and call them out as they are, which is evil. And we can go into it and take care of those things, which is evil. So I'm telling y'all, that's why I tell people, all this bad stuff that we see going on right now, your perspective about it, or the way that they're getting you to see it, the way they're getting you to perceive it, is not so. The way that God is getting me to perceive these things that's going on in the world that everybody considered to be bad, I'm looking at it like, wow, look at this. Turn on the lights and there go the roaches. But what people are doing right now, see, this is what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not saying all of you guys are like this, but the response is this. You walk into somebody's house, I'm just being real, you turn the lights on, you see all these roaches. The general population is responding by, oh my God, look at all these roaches. Look at what these roaches are doing. Oh my God, all these roaches. Look at they're going, look, these roaches are terrible. Look at But me, I'm doing the opposite. I'm going, wow, if it wasn't for turning these lights on, we wouldn't even be able to see these roaches. Now, what you want, some raid? Raid. Let's stump on them. Let's step on all of them. Matter of fact, let some of them run back to their colony. That way we can get to the queen and kill them. Ain't that funny? That a lot of these insects and certain things like that, the thing, if you want to kill them, you got to get to the queen. Huh? Who's running this Black Lives Matter organization? 3 queens, 3-headed dragon. 3 queens are running it. Let's see. Just Me says, I was taught the golden rule also, not to judge a book by its cover, but what's on the inside. Be Strong says, family structure in step with the model God has given us will produce that work as our kids grow. That world system is obviously a major part of the problem. Yes, it is. A lot of ways that they're trying to make families set up right now is completely, people think that the Antichrist is some man or something like that. No, Antichrist is a system. Antichrist, and I'm just saying, Antichrist was a man at one time, but the Antichrist was somebody that went out and produced a system. It's exactly what I tell people right now. When the Bible says, be you not conformed to this world, but be you transformed by the renewing of your mind. The reason why he said be transformed by the renewing of your mind is because he know that people were actually conformed by taking on the world's way of thinking and doing things. But again, if you're not Christian or of the faith and you're getting offended or disagreeing with what I'm saying, it's because I'm not talking to you. Love every last person that's in there right now, all 118 of you watching right now. But my point is, a lot of things that I'm saying right now, I'm saying this for those that actually have a foundation in Christ. That's what I'm saying. If a lot of people get upset or offended or anything that I'm saying, know that offenses is going to come. But also understand my intentions of what I'm saying is not to offend you. My intention is actually to sound a warning. I'm up here ringing the bell, and some of y'all complain that I'm ringing the bell and it's too loud. Y'all not asking me why am I ringing the bell? Y'all just mad that I'm ringing it because it sounds too loud. Or I don't like the tune of that bell. That doesn't sound like the Liberty Bell. I don't like that it goes ding, 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 ding. I like the bells that go ding dong, but nobody's asking me why are you ringing the bell? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to get people. That's how I try to get people to understand and think in certain ways, is that once you begin to look at things with your own thinking, with your own mind, you will begin to see things. And I think that you'll begin to get revelated to a whole lot of different things. And once you do, your eyes will become open and you see things in a whole different light. 1 second here. Okay. Sonia says, I totally agree. We should be cheering each other on. Yeah, but we don't do that, though. We don't like to do that. I've enjoyed this very much. I wish I could stay to finish, but I have to go to work. Have a good one. Wascoey. Oh my God. I just caught on that. Wascoey Wabbit. Okay, let's see. MRM, you never realize how much the 10 Commandments are guidelines made from love until children are born. God then goes from a dictator, unmerciful rules to a loving, wise, gentle father. Yep. Yep. A lot of people don't even understand that about that. When we reject truth or the gifts that come with life itself, we digress and sin. That's why life is so precious. Exactly. But the thing is, see, what's sad about that too is that it's not being taught to look at life that way. You know what I mean? When you can get somebody's mind to think that the life that's inside of a woman's stomach is nothing more than a clump of cells, but then yet at the same time, why aren't you killing the cells that's in your body? The cells that's rejuvenating your skin right now. The cells that make up your heart, that constantly keep your heart beating. The cells that actually keep your immune system good. The cells that actually keep your lacrimal gland producing liquid, that every time you blink, it gives your eyeballs a coat of liquid there to keep your eyes from drying out. The cells that keep on causing your glands in your mouth to make saliva, that put enzymes in it so you can eat food and digest it. The cells that actually cause your stomach to produce hydrochloric acid that helps you digest your food. If cells was not important and all you had in your stomach was a clump of cells and it's your body, no, go beyond that. Your body is made up of trillions of cells. So if you feel good about killing those trillions of cells, then why are you still here living? If your child is a clump of cells, so are you. If it hasn't even formed into what you want to call a life or a heartbeat or anything like that whatsoever, and it's just a clump of cells, you are too. You're just a clump of cells that's been manifested in the shape of what we call a human body. Plain and simple. You are cells. You are atoms, protons, neutrons, electrons. That's what you are. And if your child is nothing more than that to you and they really don't matter, then why should your life? I'm surprised they didn't shut me off for saying that. MRN, we need more men with values and who reject hypocrisy. You don't teach your daughters to act one way while you treat women poorly. Men often do this covertly and call this the bro code. That's ridiculous. That's the dumbest thing in the world. That is the dumbest thing in the world. Crazy. Douglas Palmer said it's not just strong black fathers. We need more strong fathers. Yes, I understand what you're saying, but the context of this video is the fact that 75% of all blacks don't have the father in the home. And if they did have strong fathers in the home, then a lot of stuff that we see going on today wouldn't even be an issue. But you have to see the beginning of this video to understand the whole context of it. So, okay, let's see what else. Let's see. Lance Zenner says, that's why we love your PC. You talk about things other than what we store up in the closet. Yeah, relationship, brothers and sisters, all races are valued. That's absolutely right. That is absolutely right. Okay, let's see. MRM, we come from very different backgrounds, but we think very much alike. Shows that our differences are not nearly as important. Similarities. God bless you for all that you do. Jerry Monahan, I appreciate that. 100% fact says a family structure in step with the model God has given us were produced. I think I already read that. Lance Zenner says, how can a sentiment of all lives matter be offensive? The reason why it's offensive because somebody told them that it was offensive, just like cuss words. You know what I mean? I'm just being real with y'all. I told y'all people be cussing on here all the time, whatever like that. But we were taught in society that saying cuss words is morally wrong, and even got to the point to where the church has adopted it into the church world as being sinful to say a cuss word. So anyway, the reason why I say that is that we've been taught that saying cuss words is offensive and wrong. But if nobody would have never actually taught us those things, we wouldn't look at it as so. So with this whole thing saying all lives matter is all of a sudden offensive, it's because somebody told them to be offensive. They can't even really tell you why it is. And then they turn around and say the dumbest thing: all lives don't matter until Black lives matter. What are you talking about? That doesn't even make sense. All lives won't matter until Black lives matter. Right, because Black Lives Matter is definitely not part of the all. I mean, I don't care what they say. It's all about to help push an agenda. If y'all don't know that, you just got to be. It's all about helping push an agenda. Because if that's the case, then why all of a sudden they talking about they want to throw everything that's Black in there, except fathers. Except fathers. You will see Black lesbian lives matter. You will see Black homosexual lives matter. You will see Black LGBTQRSHIJKLMNOP lives matter. You will see Black 100 genders matter. You will see all that, but what you won't see in there is no Black fathers or no Black men. Not Black fathers, not like that. No. Because they know that 90% of all the Black men that I've talked to, we don't play that. Absolutely not. A lot of 100% of the Black men who are fathers and married in their homes, whatever like that, most of the fathers that I've talked to, 90% of them, absolutely 100% don't play this. They won't show you all the videos of all these Black men up there going against them, snapping out on them folks. Y'all ain't bringing this crap to my hood. Don't be sitting there telling my kids this bull. These are some Black men who standing up. They don't want to sit there and show that on the news though, do they? They won't show that on the news. These Black men going out there while these people trying to come down the neighborhood and they saying, y'all better take that mother effing stuff somewhere else because this ain't about to happen in my neighborhood. My goddamn kids ain't about to see y'all with this bullshit. And then people go away. They ain't gonna show you all that though. Let's see. Lance says, once again, if Black Lives Matter is a priority, why are the youth of that community not seemingly important enough to love them with the Father? Exactly. They don't even encourage them to. John Truth Williams, you can send a link on my email. My email is on my channel. Matter of fact, here, I'll tell you what I'll do for you, John. Here you go. Uh-oh, there we go, y'all. My connection is unstable. There it is. Here it comes. My connection is unstable. Even though I got full bars right here, and then my router has all the lights lit up. Here we go, YouTube. It's okay, YouTube. I know. Let's see. The idea of different races was created to divide us. It's not biblical or scientific. Genetically, skin color is like eye color, genetically insignificant. Just me. I hear you. I definitely hear you, see you on that. Truth is just that, truth. Love and truth are synonymous as a father and a son. That's why he said, I am the way. He said, God is love. And that's why he turned around and said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. Okay. So, okay. And with that being said, folks, I got to get me some lunch, and I got to answer some a phone call that came in. And I appreciate all of you tuning in and listening. I appreciate all the comments, whether you agreed or disagreed. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to actually tune in and listen. One thing that I asked a lot of y'all do, because I'm learning, giving this video a thumbs up will allow the video to be circulated big time. When this video is done processing, if you can just leave a comment, listen, I don't care if you leave a period. I literally mean that. If you go and leave ... it helps push this out in YouTube's algorithm, okay? Also, if you have any other platforms, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, I would appreciate it if you would share this video, because this is a very important thing that needs to be put out there, especially for among people that look like me. And if there are folks out there that want to say Black Lives Matter, because I know that there's some in this chat room, I'm not going to deny that. I know there's some of y'all in here that you're for Black Lives Matter. I get it, okay? I don't hate on you whatsoever. Anybody watch this video, if you're ignorant to what Black Lives Matter really is, I'm not going to hate on you about that. But what I'm going to encourage you to do is, if Black lives really matter, how about you circulate this video and share this video so that people who made and who was responsible for every last Black life in this world hears this, which is Black fathers, because you cannot have a Black life without having a Black father. And if a Black life truly indeed matter, then this video need to be circulated to the ones who are responsible for creating those Black lives that you feel matter. And that is Black fathers, period. With that being said, folks, I'm getting ready to check out. I hope and pray every last one of you guys have food, shelter, and clothing. And most of all, I hope and pray that every last one of you guys listen to me are in great health, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.